Good morning, good morning. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So glad to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. And we're supposed to get a little rain to get today.
A little drizzle.
A little drizzle. But, you know, that's okay. It's spring showers bring or April showers bring May flowers, and we're not quite to April yet, but today is the first day of spring.
And the flowers are here already.
The flowers are here already, and people have been trampling them because, you know, people.
Yeah. Welcome to California.
Welcome to California. So today is the day to go to Dairy Queen and get your free ice cream cone.
You think I'm going to go?
I know you're going to go.
I think the girls are going to get home from school. We're going to take a road trip. Like, girls, free ice cream.
You're going to go stand in line for an hour for a free ice cream cone.
That's right. That's right. Because the things we do for free ice cream.
I do like Dairy Queen ice cream. You know, you could get a box of dilly bars.
We do like dilly bars. We do like our daughter worked at Dairy Queen for a while.
Oh, she worked at Fiesta Village.
Fiesta Village, and they had a Dairy Queen there, and we'd always call her up at the end of her shift. Can you bring home a box of dilly bars?
Just like, Mom, Dad.
Like, yeah, come on, help us out here. We're addicts. Bring us the good stuff.
Bring us. Start slapping our arms, getting a vein ready for that ice cream.
That's right.
Actually, I'm not the big ice cream fan. Tobin is. I like ice cream. Tobin loves ice cream.
I come from a family, a long line of ice cream lovers. My dad, as a kid, grew up on a farm, and they used to make the homemade ice cream, right? They would get out the little bucket with the metal tin in it, and they had a hand crank one, you know? And they would make it and have to put the ice and the salt and crank that sucker up to get the ice cream made with fresh, you know, milk and cream and all that from the cows. And he just has great memories of that. And so it's always been his go-to treat, and we've all just taken that passion that he has for ice cream, taking it to the next level.
It could be 40 below, and y'all be out there eating ice cream.
Yes, and our kids would swear that they were sicker than dogs. Grandma and Grandpa will take care of us. Send us to Grandma and Grandpa's house when we're sick. Because what would Grandpa give them?
Ice cream.
Yes.
Because that cures all.
It does. They're like, yes, I'm so sick, but I can have ice cream. Now I feel better.
Now I feel better. Did you see the nasty, nasty note that some evil woman put on Twitter, or actually sent to Cindy McCain?
I did.
And Cindy McCain then posted it on Twitter so that everybody could see this woman in her glory. And it was, I mean, I can't even repeat it. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, I am so angry and frustrated with these people. And you know, Trump is the leader of this whole movement, who feel that it is okay to bash this man. You know, a man who was a national hero, you know, who endured 5 years in captivity in North Korea, who served our country honorably, was the Republican nominee for president. And yeah, he didn't win, but he ran in the hardest environment in my lifetime, right? After the failed presidency of George W. Bush, running against the most iconic president that he could possibly face in Barack Obama, and
an economic collapse just a couple months before the election,
you know, everything,
or a month before the election.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong for him in that election cycle, and I'm not here to say that John McCain is a perfect individual. None of us are, but this is a man who has deserved our respect and our honor in so many ways, and so to see him so degraded by these politicians for reasons that are purely political, right? I mean, Trump has figured out this is a way to score points by showing that he isn't, you know, he's a different kind of politician, that he's willing to confront people he doesn't like. The guy's dead. You're confronting a dead man.
You're confronting his grieving widow.
Yes, it's disgusting, and just stop, you know. And it shows a fundamental sort of flaw with Trump. It's one of the many, many reasons that I'll never be that I am a never Trumper, you know, and I left the Republican Party because of him, and you know, and I find myself, even when Trump does something that I like, you know, policy wise, kind of having to feel sick about it because I dislike this man so much because he is such a distasteful human being, and this is just one of the many reasons, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny, now that the stuff is amping up that Joe Biden might get in the race. And I have never in my life voted for a Democrat for president. But I actually, when I saw that Biden was getting in, I'm going to take a good hard look at this guy, and I might write him a check. I might send some money to his campaign. I might vote for him because I am so disgusted with Donald Trump. Even though I like some of his policy stuff, and I generally don't think the Democrats are good for the country. But I'm willing to give them a shot because Trump is that bad. And that's where I'm at. And it's this kind of stuff. I want our country to return to being honorable and decent.
You know, I'm not ready to vote Democrat, but I understand completely 100% where you're coming from, because and I'm not going to blame everybody's bad behavior on Trump.
No.
But certainly people feel emboldened, right? I mean, the temptation is there. Now, what we have done pardon the phrase, piss poor job of doing in our country is raising our children to fight their impulses.
Yeah, right.
Just because you feel like you want to do something doesn't mean it's a good thing to do and that you should be doing it. The price you pay for living on this earth is fighting the negative aspects of your own behavior. So the woman who felt compelled to send a grieving widow this nasty note on Twitter and making fun of her daughter who has gained some weight because she's grieving over the loss of her father, and for whatever reason, people gain weight, guys, get over it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they have a character flaw. It means they gained weight. The idea that this person felt it was okay, that they could say these horrible things and there would be no consequences. I hope this woman who sent this stuff gets fired. I hope her name goes everywhere and nobody hires her again. Okay, that's a little intense.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. You cannot do that.
But her letter to Cindy McCain, this vile letter, comes in the context of Trump making multiple tweets and attacks against McCain over the weekend and as this week has rolled out.
I agree with you.
And so, you know...
But there comes the question, though, Tobin, are we personally responsible? The president certainly is responsible for what comes out of his mouth or on his Twitter. Yeah. Absolutely 100%. And he has failed over and over again to be the adult in the room. But each of us as individuals have personal responsibility. And it reminds me, you know, that people are blaming Trump for this absolute demonic evil piece of beep that in New Zealand who killed all of those people in the mosque. They're blaming it on Trump. No, the shooter is responsible for the shooter's behavior.
Yeah.
Trump is responsible for his behavior, and it's despicable, but he's still responsible for it.
Yeah.
And the woman who sent this nasty private message on Twitter to Cindy McCain is responsible for her behavior. Each of us is responsible for our own behavior unless we are children, and then there's some gray area. They should still be held accountable, but it has to be age appropriate. Or you're mentally ill to the point of incapacitation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my heart goes out and my love goes out to the McCain family. You know, it breaks my heart every time I see this stuff. I will tell you, I saw a video clip, though, of a former general on TV the other night defending McCain and just really, really slamming Trump for these tweets and basically calling Trump's behavior cowardice, and I think it is. I think it's cowardly to attack a dead man who can't defend himself, you know. And
a decorated war hero.
Yeah.
And a longtime senator who served honorably. You may not have agreed with his positions, and nobody agrees. I don't agree with Tobin's positions on everything. It's just evidenced by the fact that he said he would vote Democrat, and I said I'm not there yet. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that he's a horrible person or that I'm a horrible person. It means we didn't agree about that one thing. So the expectation is that you would agree 100% with something that a politician says. You are just begging. You are asking to be lied to.
Yeah.
Because it's an impossibility that somebody would agree with you on everything.
Yeah.
That is an infantile view of the world. And while I'm ranting, let me just say that this tendency to look at how the world as you think it should be, this utopian idea of what should happen, that everything should be free, that whatever your utopian idea is, to compare utopia To use that as the comparison tool for the United States, and then to say the U.S. is terrible, we're awful, it needs to be destroyed and built up again. That's irrational.
Yeah.
That's something a child would do. It is completely irrational. What you need to do is look at the United States in the context of the rest of the countries on the world, in the world, on the planet. That then is reality, because humans are not perfect, and a utopia requires perfection. Do you understand that? This I'm so tired of hearing people say, "Oh, America's this terrible place. Oh, it's awful, it's awful, it's awful." Well, it's like Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others.
Yeah.
So are we perfect? No. Absolutely not. Should we always be striving to be better? Yes, we should always be striving. But does that mean that the entire United States needs to be dismantled so that you can try to impose your idea of utopia?
And I'm going to come at this from a very realist standpoint. Yeah, I believe we can improve America, but I believe it has to be done incrementally for a lot of reasons. And my number one reason is unintended consequences. And I say this as someone who has been a policymaker at the local level, a school board member and then a city councilman. What I have found is that no matter how well thought out you think some new policy is, some new approach to a problem is, every time you make some dramatic change, guess what happens? There's a whole bunch of unintended consequences because people's behavior doesn't always go the way you think it's going to go.
Right.
Right? And so people find loopholes. People, you think they're going to respond positively and they respond negatively. I mean, there's just all kinds of things that you can't anticipate. And the consequences of those changed behaviors create a whole new set of problems for you. And so all of a sudden now you're looking to lurch to fix those problems. And it's just, so I prefer to do incremental change that is a little bit slower, that gives people time to adjust, gives you a chance to really see what's working and what's not, right? As opposed to these grand sweeping changes. But these politicians, they all want the feather in the cap. They want to come back and say, I fixed healthcare, I fixed education, I fixed, No Child Left Behind. Monumental change. Didn't work, right? Obamacare, monumental change. Didn't work. And I know there's folks saying, oh, no, it's been great for me. Well, guess what? It hadn't been great for everybody, okay? And
look at the Common Core, which is more recent.
Yeah.
The teachers who get it say that it's wonderful, especially the math teachers, right? Because it teaches students how to really think about mathematics. And I've seen significant debates, and I've been in debates about this. But the way they rolled it out is that, okay, everybody, now you do it this way.
Yeah.
And for the kids who are later on in the process, the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and up grades, were like, what? Because they're and the teachers too, because all of a sudden they're teaching math completely differently.
Yeah.
What should have happened is they should have rolled it out in the elementary grades, and then each year added a year, so that the kids who were used they could move, they could grow with that process. But that's not how they did it.
No, they never do it that way. And because education's my thing, I'm a school teacher. The even bigger one that's going on right now, it's kind of silent. No one's even really talking about it. We just have started talking about it. Is this new model of how we do discipline in the schools? It's not discipline anymore. There is no actual consequence for misbehavior. What we're doing now is we've gone to this counseling model, this positive behavior intervention model, PBIS, where we're doing rewards and we're trying to educate kids so they don't behave badly again. And it's not being rolled out well. And it is a mess, and our schools are chaos right now. And I worry about this generation of kids that are coming up through through schools that are not getting any kind of structure that's working. This is a systematic issue, and the system is in major distress at the moment. And this is not something we can futz around with for 5 or 10 years.
Right.
Because that's a whole generation of kids that will be literally screwed over because we couldn't get it together. And it may be a good system, and I hear people say, oh, it works here and we're doing great. Well, I'm telling you, as a general rule, I talk to a lot of teachers. I'm on a lot of these teacher web pages and blogs. It is not working generally. In fact, it is failing badly, and you're seeing a lot of teachers in distress and the kids in distress because of it.
So with that, we're going to take a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We will be right back.
The White House Council on Economic Advisors' economic report claims the tax law President Trump signed in late 2017 led to bonuses for 6 million workers and a $17 billion increase in venture capital deals last year. The report argues that a 70% marginal tax rate championed by some House Democrats would reduce GDP by more than $530 billion over 10 years. It also says the Medicare for All plan would cut long-term GDP and after-tax income. Apple has unveiled a new iPad Air and iPad Mini.
The new upgraded models unveiled on Monday will offer features of the larger iPad Pro for its smaller counterparts, such as keyboard support and Apple Pencil capabilities. Pricing for the new iPad Mini starts at $399, while the new iPad Air is a bit more pricey, starting at $499. If you're looking for a model that supports cellular connectivity, tack on another $130. Both of the upgraded models are already available for order and will be hitting shelves across the globe starting next week. Next Monday, Apple is expected to announce a new video streaming service at a scheduled event. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
About $8.5 billion will be wagered on this year's NCAA men's basketball tournament. The American Gaming Association expects 47 million American adults to lay down bets during the tournament. 40 million Americans are expected to fill out a bracket. The AGA says bettors favor Duke to win it all. A New Jersey man is not going to be docked a late fee after returning a book overdue by 53 years to his old middle school's library. Harry Crane says he found the book, the Family Book of Verse, while cleaning his basement and realized he checked it out when he was a teenager. At today's rate, the late fee would have been around $2,000, but the school district has decided not to collect the money. Instead, the school librarian says she will display the book in the library to teach kids the importance of returning books. Phil Hewlett, NBC News Radio.
If you're looking for a full or part-time sales position and you have radio, TV, or print media experience, KCAA has a great opportunity waiting for you that pays the highest commissions in the market. KCAA is the only station in the IE that broadcasts on 3 frequencies, so advertisers receive 3 ads for 1 low rate. This makes KCAA a must-buy for every local business. If you're interested in a sales position with us, email CEO@kcaaradio.com.
Looking for a new place to eat? Delicious food at a great value? The Tri-City Center in Redlands is proud to announce the grand opening of a fine new dining establishment. Terry's Diner, at the former location of the Spunky Steer in Redlands, is officially open for business daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. with delicious, mouth-watering breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Treat yourself to Terry's tasty dessert menu, such as Terry's famous sundaes, banana splits, hot fudge cake, old-fashioned root beer floats, Frosties, cakes and pies, too. You'll find weekly lunch and dinner specials all under $10, including Angus steaks, burgers, Greek salads, pasta seafoods with wine and beer. Terry's brings years of tasty temptations from DJs in San Bernardino and Altaloma. Join a new tradition in Redlands. Stop by at 1350 Industrial Park Avenue between Tennessee and Alabama in the Tri-City Center. Google Terry's Diner Redlands on Yelp or find them terrysdinerredlands.com.
This is KCAA.
Man was bothering me today, and I wanted to tell him to go away, but I stood and listened to him anyway, okay? Said he didn't want to shoot that man, and it was his thing, and I wouldn't understand, and he had done all that he can, okay? Okay.
Welcome back. I'm Marion Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. Well, that was a ranty last segment, but I tell you, it had to be said.
Right. Every now and then we go on our morning rants.
We did. You know, it just sometimes it feels like the country has lost its collective minds. And I think, you know, that you get so caught up in what's, you know, the outrage du jour. Mm-hmm. And that you lose sight of what's really important, and there's always some new outrage, and there's always somebody, trying to gin up emotion for one thing or another, and stop giving away the power over your life.
Yes.
You don't need to be outraged about all the junk you're supposed to feel outraged about.
Yes.
And you'll make better decisions.
I agree. Now, Aaron, I have a story today. This one is a shout out to my good friend Josh Lyman, an award-winning.
Are you a member of the Lemon Limans?
Maybe.
Or
An award-winning psychic says science does not kill God. Oh, excuse me, that's a physicist, not a psychic.
That's right, psychics at Caltech. So for those of you who do not watch or did not watch The West Wing, that was a shout out to West Wing fans. There was a news release that the fictional character of C.J. Craig, played beautifully by Allison Janney, she did a press conference and said that meant to say physicist from Caltech, and she said psychics from Caltech.
And she did it, I think, on purpose, just to tweak her friend Josh Lyman, who was not at work that day. He was in the hospital and recovering. and yes, it was funny. It was a moment.
All right, so go ahead with the story.
Okay. So in Plato's Apology, the Greek philosopher quotes Socrates, who, having one of his famous discourses with another philosopher, as saying, "Although I do not suppose that either of us knows anything really beautiful and good, I am better off than he is, for he knows nothing and thinks he knows. I neither know nor think that I know." And so this was a sign of Socrates' wisdom, right, is that he's able to at least admit that he knows nothing. Sadly, the Socratic paradox is not much taught in schools these days, and that's a shame, because Socrates, who was forced to drink a fatal dose of hemlock after being charged with not believing in the gods of the state, has much to teach us about the true nature of knowledge. Some, though, appear to still be reading Socrates' works, like Marcelo Gleiser. Now, Gleiser is a physics and astronomy professor who teaches at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. He specializes in cosmology. Aaron, you know what cosmology is? It's
the study of hair dye?
No. It's the study of the cosmos. Stars, Aaron, in the sky, and planets.
Billions and billions of stars.
That's right. The 60-year-old professor was born in Rio de Janeiro and has been teaching since 1991. On Tuesday, he won the Templeton Prize, which rewards an individual who has either made an exceptional contribution to affirming life's spiritual dimension, whether through insight, discovery, or practical works. While the prize is nice in itself, it also comes with $1.5 million. That's more than the winners of the Nobel Peace Prize, Aaron. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I wouldn't mind winning a Templeton Prize.
We have to be a cosmologist,
I guess. The esteemed group with past winners that include theologian Desmond Tutu, the Dalai Lama, and Soviet author Alexander Solzhenitsyn awarded Gleiser for his work that shows science and religion can coexist. While the professor is an agnostic, he, like Socrates, knows that he simply does not know. Atheism is inconsistent with the scientific method, Gleiser told the Agence France-Presse on Monday. Atheism is a belief in non-belief, so you categorically deny something that you have no evidence against. I'll keep an open mind because I understand that human knowledge is limited, Gleiser said, according to Yahoo News. Gleiser has focused on the parallels in science and religion's search for answers about the origin of the universe and life, noting that everybody wants to know how the world came to be. The question drives, and as Gleiser maintains, potentially unites both science and religion. But science, he says, has its limits. Science can give answers to certain questions up to a point, Gleiser said. That has been known for a very long time in philosophy. It's called the problem of the first cause. We get stuck. For those who believe that the earth is literally created in 6 days, Gleiser has a few thoughts. They position science as the enemy because they have a very antiquated way of thinking about science and religion, in which all scientists try to kill God, he says. Science does not kill God.
I would agree. Obviously I'm not a thinker like he is, but if you believe that God created everything in the universe, from the most minute things we haven't discovered yet to the most giant things we haven't discovered yet, and everything in between, then the search for truth in science will ultimately lead you to God, right?
Yeah.
Because if here's the thing, you have to go to approach science like a real scientist, meaning that nothing is settled science, meaning that everything you are constantly discovering, constantly testing, constantly learning, constantly, in the pursuit of truth. And I believe absolutely that pursuit of truth will necessarily lead you to God. How can you look at, especially moving down to the smallest quantum levels of being, and you still see this beautiful symmetry in everything. And how do you look in the face of God and deny He exists? Yeah. I don't understand.
Yeah, the complexity of all of our living organisms and of our universe, and yet the way that it all works so nicely and gently together. Speaks to some sort of planning,
Yes.
And so to deny that, to look at that and say, no, that all just kind of happened accidentally, just sort of a crazy coincidence that it all worked out that way, it just strikes me as very odd. And so I'm a person of faith, and it's interesting that that essentially this guy's argument is that because we can't know, because we can't know all these first causes, you can't close off to the idea that it might be God. And I think that's a great starting point.
I 100% agree with you. And a true scientist has an open mind, right? Yep. A true scientist is open to where the science leads. And certainly, the science doesn't address the things it can't see, meaning that each discovery builds on the last, and that it's something that can be proven, right? That can be proved. That's how they have built, this everything. This is how science has built upon itself. But if you can't see it, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. As we've learned, what we thought at one point we thought the cell was the smallest thing in the world, and it's not.
No.
We keep digging, and we find more, and we find more, and we find more. And I think it's indicative of we don't know what we don't know.
We've gone down the rabbit hole.
But also up to the cosmos, to the unfathomable vastness of the universe.
Exactly. So congratulations to this Professor Gleiser and his winning of the Templeton Prize and $1.5 million. I wonder what he's going to use it for. Probably going to just blow it on a weekend in Vegas or something.
God, you make it. He's going to get it. Okay, really? Vegas? No. Yeah. If he's gonna blow it anywhere, he's going to go to Tahiti or something.
He's going to be like, if there is a God, let it be, sevens as he rolls the dice. No, just kidding.
No.
Just kidding.
No.
It's a scientific experiment.
No.
God doesn't work like that.
No. So with that, we're overdue for a break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are On the Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
California Headline News, attorneys for victims of the Camp Fire last year say they found internal documents showing PG&E knew about the risk involving their power lines but ignored it. Email from 2014 indicating the company knew the towers on their transmission line were likely to fail but took no action.
It disgusts me. The entire company and the corporation, they are convicted felons and they have no regard for human life or safety.
Attorney Mike Danko representing several Camp Fire victims, the utility releasing a statement saying they've been conducting accelerated safety inspections. All the recent rains meaning the worst allergy season in decades. Dr. Kaman Nguyen is an allergy specialist with Northridge Hospital.
So with the recent rainfalls, we've had cycles of rain, and sun. And the rain waters the grasses, the trees, the flowers.
She says the big butterfly migration is adding to the misery because they spread pollen as they fly along. Rain in much of the state today, clearing up tonight, but another storm is headed for Northern California by Friday. Jeff Scott, California News.
I never chose to become a gambling addict, but what I did choose was to get help from a professional counselor. Admitting I was powerless to solve my problem, that opened the doors. I thought I was beyond repair until I called 1-800-GAMBLER and was provided life-changing resources and referrals at zero cost to me.
For no-cost gambling addiction counseling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text SUPPORT to 53342. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
You're home after a long day, preparing dinner when...
Ew! What's that? It smells like rotten eggs.
That might be a natural gas leak.
It can't be. We don't have any natural gas appliances.
Even if you don't use natural gas, that rotten egg odor could be a sign of a leak in your neighborhood. Because gas lines can be buried anywhere.
Shut up.
No, speak up. If you ever suspect a leak, leave immediately and call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Thanks, deep voice narrator.
You're very welcome.
California headline news. The San Francisco District Attorney has cleared Giant CEO Larry Baer of any criminal charges after a very public altercation with his wife. The DA's office says the evidence doesn't support filing criminal charges. Baer on personal leave from the team and may still face discipline from Major League Baseball. He's seen on video trying to grab his cell phone out of Pam Baer's hand and knocking her off a chair in the process. She was not injured. Both have publicly apologized for the embarrassing incident. California News, I'm Jeff Scott.
It's time to take a look at our roadways. I'm Erin Brinker. In Corona on the 91 westbound between Grand Boulevard and the 91 Expressway, there's some stop-and-go traffic. In Corona on the 15 northbound after Temescal Canyon Road, a crash is in the center divider. Stop-and-go traffic is backed up from Lake Street. In Chino on the 71 northbound at Chino Avenue, an accident has been cleared. And in Moreno Valley on the 215 northbound before Eastridge, an accident has the shoulder blocked. Slow traffic is backed up from Alessandro Boulevard. The 60 west is slow from Heacock to the 215. This has been your traffic report. Drive carefully, everyone. I'm Erin Brinker, and this is KCAA.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi. For this morning, a cloudy sky. Cloudy today with showers likely. There could be a thunderstorm as well, the high 62. Partly to mostly cloudy with a few showers and a thunderstorm tonight, low 46. Clouds and showers Thursday, high 58. Sunshine Friday, high 68. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi, broadcasting live from the Tri-City Center, the 10 and 210 freeways. We are the trifecta of talk in Southern California, KCAA. 102.3 FM Riverside, 106.5 FM Redlands, and the Legacy, 1050 AM, Loma Linda, San Bernardino.
Drivers, when it's time to visit the DMV, avoid the long lines and save time by calling toll-free 833-DMV-LINE. That's 833-DMV-5463.
Broadcasting more local radio programs than any other station in California, we are KCAA.
Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. Trying to listen to some peppy music.
Right.
Since we're ranty this morning. Especially me. That's another thing to rant about. So apparently there's a new postpartum depression drug.
Ooh.
Yeah. So a lot of people, and I was one of them, and I think it's really down to hormonal changes and what that does to the body. But a lot of women suffer from postpartum depression after their babies are born, hence postpartum depression. And there's the first time that the FDA is approving a drug or has approved a drug specifically indicated for the treatment of postpartum depression, which experts say will offer new hope to women. Guess how much this thing is?
I'm looking at the cost here on the headline, and I am about to pass out.
It's $35,000 for one treatment.
That's crazy.
$35,000.
That is crazy. That's crazy, Erin.
It's crazy. So on Tuesday, the FDA announced the approval of an intravenous infusion of the drug brexanolone, which will be sold as Zulresso. How do they make up these dumb names? Zulresso. It has been shown in clinical trials to work within hours to treat the symptoms of postpartum depression, a serious mental illness that impacts 1 in 9 new mothers after childbirth. And I suspect it's more than that. I think that everybody, not everybody, but I would say that probably the majority of women feel down and depressed after the birth of their children.
Yeah. And the way that it's administered strikes me as very odd. It's a single 60-hour IV drip. So, that's like, 3 days? that you're in the hospital.
Yes.
Hooked up to a machine, getting this IV drip. That's where the cost comes in there, and you're paying to be in the hospital for 3 days.
But no, that's just for the drug. It's not paying for all the other things that come along with the drug.
Yeah.
So, you $35,000 per treatment, but then you have all of the other things that you'll be paying for.
Yeah, actually, as you go down the article, it says that it's $7,450 per vial, which results in a projected average course of therapy cost at $34,000 per patient. That's before discounts. Oh, they're going to have discounts, Aaron. Discounts, because that's what you want.
Yeah, and if you don't qualify for those discounts, you get hosed.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. So there's the company who created this. I think this is. No. Sorry, forgive me. The drug will be available only through a restricted program called the Zulresso Risk Evaluation and Mitigation Strategy, REMS program, that requires the drug to be administered by a healthcare provider in a certified healthcare facility. This is according to the FDA. There are no FDA-approved antidepressants for postpartum depression, so approval of the first medication of its kind is a breakthrough for patients. And this is according to Dr. Christina Deligiadnis. I probably pronounced that wrong, Director of Women's Behavioral Health at Northwell Health Zucker Hillside Hospital in New York, who was involved in 2 of the drug's clinical trials as a researcher. Without any treatment, postpartum depression can last for months or even years. Studies show that brexanolone was effective regardless of when postpartum depression symptoms began. It's estimated that in the United States, more than 400,000 infants are born to mothers who are depressed. Treatment for options for postpartum depression have included counseling or therapy with a mental health professional and antidepressant medications, but no antidepressant medication has been specifically FDA approved to treat postpartum depression. Also, antidepressant medications generally don't provide an immediate relief of symptoms and may take several weeks to help. So I just, and they quote people who say, I cried excessively after the baby was born, yada, yada, yada. But, you'd be crying excessively because you just spent $34,000 or $35,000 for this drug that you now have to pay for. Or your insurance premiums went up because of this drug that you now have to, or that they had to pay for. I just think this is ridiculous.
Yeah. As I read this article too, I'm getting a little bit of outrage. Let's have more ranting here, okay? Because I know what's happening. They've already put the ads out, so you're seeing them on TV, right? For this drug, and they're creating demand. There's a whole bunch of pregnant women right now who are like, oh, thank God, I won't have to go through that, right? And they're going to demand it. They're going to be with their doctor. They're going to demand it, and the doctor's going to look at their insurance, and if the insurance covers it, they'll be like, yeah, we can do that. And this is why our insurance rates are so high, because I guarantee you that they're going to be over-prescribing this stuff, because every woman is going to see this ad, and if she feels even just a little bit weepy, she's going to demand the treatment.
So let me put this forward. How many times have you been prescribed a drug and you don't know that there's a problem with the insurance until you get the bill, right? Because so how many people are going to be prescribed this drug and the hospital, or because this is all done in the hospital, and your insurance company is going to come back and say no, and so then you're stuck with a $35,000 bill that you didn't know was coming because nobody told you that this stuff was $35,000.
Yes, and you demanded it when you were there. You're like, oh, can I get that? And the doctor's be like, sure. I know how this works. Yeah, this is, and then you're going to be really depressed,
right?
You see the bill. Oh my God.
Yeah,
you're going to be despondent when you see that you now owe $35,000.
I think that the median household income in the United States is around $60,000 a year, or somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about a treatment after you've had a baby, which is expensive enough having a baby, then all of a sudden there's a $35,000 bill that comes on top of that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So the most common side effects include headache, dizziness, excessive sleepiness. But what my thought is that how in the world? So can you breastfeed? Did they do tests on what if this is passed to the baby and then the effects on the baby?
Right.
Because right about that time you're gonna need to breastfeed because baby's gonna need to eat. So do you interrupt breastfeeding right at the beginning? I mean, no, because then you won't produce milk. So I don't know. I don't like this.
A lot of questions.
Lot of questions.
Yeah, and they have some statistics here, and I'm not even sure quite how to read them, but they say overall, over the 60 hours, about 75% of the women who received the Brexalone were at least 50% improved in their symptoms. So, that what they're saying is that it's not a guarantee, right? So it's not 100% of the women 100% of the time, and you're cured. About 75% of the women are going to see a 50% reduction in their symptoms, and you're paying all this money.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you've paid all this money and you're in that 25% who didn't get the benefits?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm still depressed.
And I'm $35,000 poorer now.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got problems with this, folks. Ooh.
The people who are out there saying that we need to have single-payer health care, and they're talking about runaway costs, and they're talking about greed and gouging and all of those things, yeah, they're talking about this.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm sure that the company will say there was so much for research and development, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then something has to change. Something has to give. I am not for single-payer health care, but it's hard to stand on the side of a market-based solution to making sure that people can get the health care they need when you're faced with this.
Yeah.
So, with that, let's take another break. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on The Brink, the morning show on KCAA. We'll be right back.
For several years, KCAA has been marketing the Youngevity brand of nutritional and personal care products. Our experience with Youngevity has been 100% positive, so we are pleased to recommend them to you. Regarding nutritional supplements, we recommend Pollen Burst in the berry flavor and Tangy Tangerine 2.0 in the tablet form. For regularity issues, we recommend 3-Day Cleanse, and for personal care, we recommend Morning Hydration Cream. You can shop online for Youngevity at www.kcaateam.com, or you can order by phone by calling 800-982-3197 and tell customer support that you are part of the KCAA team. Youngevity is an American company based in San Diego. Call Youngevity at 800-982-3197 and ask about monthly auto ship that allows you to buy Youngevity products at wholesale prices. That number again, 800-982-3197. The Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands is serving up some really cool ice cream at La Micho Acana. Then get your chocolates and other delights from C's Candies. Moms and future moms who visit the mall can cool off and relax while they get treated like royalty at Shiny Nails or Francis Nails and then pampered at Texture Hair. The Tri-City Center is filled with retailers who care about you. Shop at the Tri-City Center in Redlands and see why they call it the mall with a heart.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us if you want Viagra at the lowest prices. Never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-357-1583 today to save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-357-1583 to take your call now. Call 800-357-1583. That's 800-357-1583. Again, 800-357-1583.
Looking for a new place to eat delicious food at a great value? The Tri-City Center in Redlands is proud to announce the grand opening of a fine new dining establishment. Terry's Diner, at the former location of the Spunky Steer in Redlands, is officially open for business daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. with delicious, mouth-watering breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Treat yourself to Terry's tasty dessert menu, such as Terry's famous sundaes, banana splits, hot fudge cake, old-fashioned root beer floats, Frosties, cake cakes and pies, too. You'll find weekly lunch and dinner specials all under $10, including Angus steaks, burgers, Greek salads, pasta seafoods with wine and beer. Terry's brings years of tasty temptations from DJs in San Bernardino and Altaloma. Join a new tradition in Redlands. Stop by at 1350 Industrial Park Avenue between Tennessee and Alabama in the Tri-City Center. Google Terry's Diner Redlands on Yelp or find them terrysdinerredlands.com.
This is KCAA.
Love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink, the morning show on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and FM 102.3. So we're going to do something a little lighter in this last conversation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So SimpleMost.com has a list of low-energy dogs, kind of lazy dogs. If you want just a chill animal, not like I think of the most energetic dogs, like a Jack Russell Terrier or, a Labrador Retriever or, the really high-energy dogs or, an Australian Shepherd. Well, maybe you just want to chill with your dog. Take them for a walk, but you still just chill with your dog. And here's a list of breeds. And the first one on the list is a Newfoundland.
Really?
Yeah, and these, if you've never seen a Newfie, they are big and fluffy and a little drooly and just wonderful, but they can be up to 150 pounds.
That's a big dog.
That's a big dog.
But it's just going to lie around.
Kind of, yeah.
It's going to be like a rug.
I mean,
think of it as a rug. It's not really a dog.
Okay, that's not true. I'm still a dog. You still need to walk them. You still need to love them, but they're not going to be jumping all over you.
A big, fluffy rug that you pet.
Would you stop? People I know who have Newfies, they love them.
We've seen them out and about. I remember we were in Santa Barbara once, and someone was walking one by, and it was just a lovely dog, sweet. We played with it and petted it for a while. Big, lovely dog.
Yep, they are wonderful. Number 2 on the list, and my brother and his wife would agree, are Basset Hounds.
Bassets.
Now, Basset Hounds, they've got little stumpy legs, but they're pretty heavy dogs.
Yeah, they are.
But they've got these really great kind of laid-back, chill personalities.
Yeah.
Except they do talk. As a matter of fact, my brother and his wife, they have 2 Bassets, and they trained one of them. So if they need to go out, trained all of their dogs, but one of them in particular, if they need to go out in the backyard, there's a little doggy doorbell. The doggy steps on the doorbell, and you know that the doggy wants to go out and can let the dog out. Except that the dog also steps on the doorbell when she wants a treat, and so you would imagine that doorbell gets stepped on a lot.
It's funny because you say they train the dog. I believe the dog has now trained them. Your brother and his wife are very well trained to care for this dog's every need because of that doorbell.
Ding dong, ding dong.
But it's perfect. It's perfect for their dog, and they're not the high energy bouncy dogs.
Oh, they're snuggle bugs.
They are, but they just kind of lumber around, and then they want to come and sit with you and climb up on you, and be all over you.
So Tobin.
Number 3 is the Saint Bernard, and of course, if you've ever watched the Beethoven movie, right, you know what they're like. Actually, I have a coworker who has one, and they can be a handful just because of their size, right?
They're huge.
They're huge. But they're known for being extremely intelligent and very patient, right?
But they can be the males can get up to 200 pounds.
Yeah. And, of course, whenever I think of St. Bernards, you always think of the rescue dogs in the Alps, right? And they're carrying, like, the
barrel of whiskey?
The barrel of whiskey under their chin, right, on their collar so that they can save you with whiskey.
So they are, and again, like the Newfoundlands, I didn't mention this with the Newfies, but they are known as the great nanny dog, meaning that they're good for kids. And they're called gentle giants. St. Bernards are so cute.
Yeah.
The next one is another large breed.
The Great Dane.
Great Dane. And they are. Well, what is the big red dog?
Oh, and the Marmaduke.
Marmaduke, who's a Great Dane.
Yes.
So they're laid back. The Apollo of dogs looks intimidating, but is about as sweet as they come. Great Danes are described as easygoing, a total joy to live with by the American Kennel Club, which ranks it as one of the most popular breeds. When standing on their back legs, these pups are taller than most people.
Yep.
So if you want a dog that will frighten potential intruders but will be a calm sweetie, this is a great choice.
Yeah, and I look at them, and some of them literally you look like you could put a saddle on them. I'm just saying they're that big. Small child could easily be riding around on a Great Dane.
So the next one is actually surprising to me.
And me too.
Is the Greyhound.
I always thought of these dogs as being extremely high-strung, but apparently they're not.
They can just run fast.
Yeah.
So they are renowned couch potatoes. Who knew?
Right.
Animal Planet describes them as lovable, sweet, and charming lap dogs, even if they don't exactly fit in your lap. If greyhounds are too much of a handful at home, a busy author like J.K. Rowling wouldn't have chosen one to be her companion. So apparently she has a greyhound.
So, I guess why they're couch potatoes is they're conserving their energy before the race.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
That's what I tell myself before my races. I'm just conserving energy as I'm lounging on the couch.
You read the next one, Toby.
Okay, the Neapolitan Mastiff. And these are really big dogs. If you want a big dog that doesn't really like playing but loves being cuddly, a Neapolitan Mastiff might be the perfect choice. These watchful pups grow up to be 150 pounds and have low energy and low exercise needs. According to Animal Planet, their favorite thing in the world is to be with the people that they love. Like other big dogs, Neapolitan Mastiffs have a reputation for drooling.
Yeah.
With their slobber being described as tough to clean off surfaces. Now, isn't this the dog that was in that movie Turner and Hooch?
Yes.
Wasn't that a Mastiff?
Yes.
Yeah. Cute dog. But the big thing about that movie was that dog slobber.
Yes.
Right? It would shake its head, and slobber would go flying everywhere.
You got to get the next one because my computer's frozen.
So the next one is a bull mastiff, okay, a cousin of the Neapolitan Mastiff. These friendly giants are praised for being docile, easygoing, and loving unless their family is threatened. It's a terrific family dog, one that doesn't need much exercise or playtime to be happy. Just make sure you have enough room for one because they can weigh up to 130 pounds and stand more than 2 feet tall at the shoulders.
Dang!
That's a big dog. That's a really big dog. I don't even know how to say the next one. It's a Dogue de Bordeaux. Dogue, spelled D-O-G-U-E. It's French, Aaron. This breed is the most ancient of all French dogs. French. The Dogue de Bordeaux. A.K.A. the French Mastiff. Now they put the English name in. It's a French Mastiff, Aaron. Okay. It's courageous and it's affectionate. Training apparently is the key, however, because the American Kennel Society says that they can be stubborn and assert dominance over you if they aren't trained as puppies. Sounds just like our children.
So my computer's completely frozen up. Is that the last one?
There's another one. We have an English toy spaniel.
A toy?
It sounds like a little puppy. Small dog. Okay, if small dogs are your thing and you want to keep calm, quiet house, you might want to find an English toy spaniel. These adorable little dogs, Aaron, grow between 8 to 14 pounds. That's a good size for us. They're described as having low energy and a gentle demeanor, and they rarely bark. Finding one, especially a puppy, may be a chore, though, because English toy spaniels are pretty rare in the United States.
So you have to go to England to get one?
Yeah, and the picture of it, it's so cute, Aaron. Oh, it's so cute. I just want to cuddle with it. Here's another small one, the Maltese.
Oh.
A Maltese. And it's a small pup that can live nearly 20 years.
So is that the Maltese, the one with the little smash face?
I think so. It says you'll find devoted friend in a Maltese. They're described as being very intelligent, perfect for apartment dwellers or people who also own cats, Aaron. The site also calls the breed a super therapy dog. However, they do like to bark and will require some intense grooming at times thanks to that luscious fur.
Yeah, that's one thing that I hate doing is having to stay on top of long pet fur. Forget it. And then you get it all over the house and I don't like that. So we are at the end of our show for today. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the brink, the morning show on KCAA. Have a really great day, everyone.
She stood there bright as the sun.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC. High-tech companies continue to take a beating. Europe has now hit Google with a nearly $2 billion fine for blocking ads from its rivals. Stock futures are flat on Wall Street. Most economists do not think the Fed will raise interest rates today. There are too many signs of the economy that it's slowing. FedEx pointed to a global slowdown for its profit shortfall, a situation that it says will get worse before it gets better. BMW agrees. Its profits down 10%. BMW will be cutting costs and jobs. Mortgage applications rose for the third week in a row because loan rates continue to fall. Bayer's going to need a lot of aspirin. A jury says its Roundup weed killer caused cancer in one person who sued. Now that jury will decide how much Bayer has to pay in damages. Could be a lot. Amazon out with a $90 Kindle this morning, and Apple's out with new AirPods that include 50% more airtime, it says, and a wireless charging case. I'm Chuck Kamlick, CNBC.
24/7, 365. You're up and at 'em every day, so you don't want something like Medicare Part D to slow you down. At Walgreens, we'll take care of your Medicare Part D prescriptions, saving you time and money. Make the switch to Walgreens today and get more by earning 100 balance reward points and save up to $5 on each Medicare Part D prescription when Walgreens is your preferred pharmacy. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Prescription savings applies to Tier 1 generics when you fill at a preferred versus a non-preferred pharmacy on select plans. Points can't be earned in New York, New Jersey, or Arkansas. Other restrictions and limitations apply.
Bungalow, apartment, flat, farmhouse, fort, lodge, cabin, cottage, chateau, palace, shack, crib, condo, shoebox, duplex, manor, mansion, McMansion, hutch, hut, pad, shanty, villa, castle, cave. No matter what you call it, a realtor knows how to find you the perfect home. We're more than an agent or app. We're trusted professionals serving you, your family, and community for over 100 years. That's not just what realtors do. That's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
It's time to take a look at our roadways. I'm Erin Brinker. In Corona on the 15 northbound after Temescal Canyon Road, a crash has now been moved to the right shoulder. There's some stop-and-go traffic backed up from Lake Street. In Ontario on the 60 westbound before the 15, a wreck is now along the right shoulder. Slow traffic is backed up from Etiwanda Avenue. And in Moreno Valley on the 215 northbound before East Ridge, an accident has the shoulder blocked. Slow traffic is backed up from Alessandro. Northbound traffic stays slow up past University. The 60 west is slow from Heacock to the 215. This has been your traffic report, and it has been brought to you by Stater Brothers. Did you know Stater Brothers improved their Digital Deals coupon program? The coupons are now ready to use. No need to clip. Sign up for Digital Deals today at StaterBrothers.com. This has been your traffic report. I'm Erin Brinker, and this is KCAA.
California headline news. Attorneys for victims of the Camp Fire last year say they found internal documents showing PG&E knew about the risk involving their power lines but ignored it. Email from 2014 indicating the company knew the towers on their transmission line were likely to fail but took no action.
It disgusts me. The entire company and the corporation, they are convicted felons, and they have no regard for human life or safety.
Attorney Mike Danko representing several Camp Fire victims, the utility releasing a statement saying they've been conducting accelerated safety inspections. All the recent rains meaning the worst allergy season in decades. Dr. Kaman Nguyen is an allergy specialist with Northridge Hospital.
So with the recent rainfalls, we've had cycles of rain, and sun. And the rain waters the grasses, the trees, the flowers.
She says the big butterfly migration is adding to the misery because they spread pollen as they fly along. Rain in much of the state today, clearing up tonight, but another storm is headed for Northern California by Friday. Jeff Scott, California News.
I never chose to become a gambling addict, but what I did choose was to get help from a professional counselor. Admitting I was powerless to solve my problem, that opened the doors. I thought I was beyond repair until I called 1-800-GAMBLER and was provided life-changing resources and referrals at zero cost to me.
For no-cost gambling addiction counseling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text SUPPORT to 53342. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
You're home after a long day, preparing dinner when...
Ew! What's that? It smells like rotten eggs.
That might be a natural gas leak.
It can't be. be? We don't have any natural gas appliances.
Even if you don't use natural gas, that rotten egg odor could be a sign of a leak in your neighborhood. Because gas lines can be buried anywhere.
Shut up.
No, speak up. If you ever suspect a leak, leave immediately and call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Thanks, deep voice narrator.
You're very welcome.
California headline news. The San Francisco District Attorney has cleared Giant CEO Larry Baer of any criminal charges after a very public altercation with his wife. The DA's office says the evidence doesn't support filing criminal charges. Baer on personal leave from the team and may still face discipline from Major League Baseball. He's seen on video trying to grab his cell phone out of Pam Baer's hand and knocking her off a chair in the process. She was not injured. Both have publicly apologized for the embarrassing incident. California News, I'm Jeff Scott.
KCAA invites you to join Dr. Donald Gabriel Jolly for What's It All About. He's never without words.
I have an opinion about everything.
He talks about everything.
You can say, I love you, and be fired by the power of the crotch instead of the real meaning of love. You have an illness. It is called terminal acute hornitis.
Join Dr. Jolly for What's It All About? 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon on KCAA 1050 AM.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. I'm Stephanie Miller.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
It is.
I didn't say good morning.
You did not say good morning.
Although I just did.
Some people don't listen in the morning.
This is true. They could be listening via podcast.
Because we do offer an excellent podcast that's available at stephaniemiller.com.
That's right. Go there and subscribe. You can also get the Stephanie Miller Happy Hour podcast.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the place to go if you want to hear celebrities talk smack about Trump while they're drinking.
Well, I know John Cryer did this past weekend.
Although he did not drink.
He did not drink. He had a Sprite.
He had a Sprite because he had to drive home.
And which is good.
He's one of our more responsible guests, I guess, in that regard.
Well, yeah.
Remember that time I got Anna Ortiz really drunk on basil martinis?
And she's awesome. Anna Ortiz is awesome. I love that woman so much.
And you can see her on Whiskey Cavalier Wednesday nights. That's tonight.
It is. It's Whiskey Wednesdays.
Whiskey Wednesdays on ABC at 10 p.m., I believe.
It depends on what time zone you're in.
Yes. 10 p.m. if you're in a legit time zone, and 9 p.m. if you're in one of those mountain.
Chicago is a legit time zone. Chicago is in a legit time zone.
Yeah. Anyways.
You really don't have this time thing down, do you?
Time travel is very, very bizarre and very, very weird for me.
Okay.
I don't understand it. I had a real issue when there was the summits were going on in Korea. Well, no, in Vietnam.
Right.
With the North Koreans.
Uh-huh.
Because it was happening tomorrow for them.
Right. Yeah.
But today for us.
Right.
That's weird.
I have several friends in Australia and New Zealand, and I'm always talking to them tomorrow.
We were able to report on things that were happening on the next day.
Right.
On the day that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, really, really trippy for me.
You've never crossed the international date line, have you?
No, I have not.
That would be really trippy. Your mind would be completely blown.
I would love it. Maybe I should talk to the Trump intern, Catherine Janeway, about that. She knows all about time travel.
Yeah. The
captain of the Star Trek Voyager.
I know. She was listed as a White House intern, among other comic book things.
It was. I just want to thank somebody in the Trump administration for making sure that story came out the week that we're filling in.
Well, yeah.
Because Stephanie would not appreciate that story and not have dedicated a segment with Bob Seska to
No. And you had me get a sound effect all ready for you, and you didn't even use it.
I know.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's because Oswald Cobblepot was not one of the interns in the White House.
But there were others.
Oswald Cobblepot should be there.
He was the Penguin.
Selena Kyle. She
was Catwoman. See, I know these things. You think I don't know these things?
Edward Nygma?
I don't.
Maybe Edward Nygma's the White House.
Was he the Riddler?
Yes.
Okay, see?
Maybe he's the White House intern who put all these names in there.
You think I'm dumb when it comes to nerdery.
I don't think you're dumb. I mean, Carol Danvers wasn't working at the White House because she's a woman.
But that's Captain Marvel. See, I know these things. Although Captain Marvel really was Shazam, but then there was some effery going on.
And I could explain that to you, but you know what? Not going to because our listeners don't want to hear it.
No, they don't want to hear it.
No, what they want to hear about is the Trumpification of the Republican Party.
You.
No, yesterday talking about their old standard bearer, the person they worship since Ronald Reagan, John McCain. Trump had this to say.
Well, we have to do
wait a
something.
minute.
I tell you, I have...
One. So you need to ask me for these things.
I told you in the break.
Right.
One.
Why are you attacking Senator John McCain 7 months after his death?
I'm very unhappy that he didn't repeal and replace Obamacare. As you know, he campaigned on repealing and replacing Obamacare for years, and then he got to a vote and he said thumbs down, and our country would have saved $1 trillion and we would have had great health care. So he campaigned. He told us hours before that he was going to repeal and replace, and then for some reason, I think I understand the reason, he ended up going thumbs up. And frankly, had we even known that, I think we would have gotten a vote because we could have gotten somebody else. So I think that's disgraceful. Plus, there are other things. I was never a fan of John McCain, and I never will be.
Okay, first of all, this is going to come as a shock to everyone. That is a lie.
Yeah.
The White House knew that McCain was not going to be voting with them.
This is correct.
Democrats knew in advance.
Yep.
Everyone knew in advance.
Yep.
We knew it was going to happen.
Yep.
The second part, John McCain, I'm going to go all the way back to 2015, back when Trump first declared. When he came down that escalator, and a couple days later, he did an interview where he said that he was not a fan of John McCain because he liked heroes. He didn't think heroes were people who were captured.
Right.
And that was the moment I thought this could be the end of the Trump campaign.
Oh, so much has gone on since then. Oh, you poor little naive thing.
Well, no, here's the thing, though. When the Republican Party didn't revolt against him, and he had all that support, that's when I was like, oh, this is actually going to work. And that was the beginning of the Trumpification of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And I feel like now the reason he's going after McCain again is that he's trying to seal the deal. He wants to make sure that he is the standard bearer for the Republican Party going forward as their base shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, and they need more and more help from Sweet Daddy Vlad to rig elections. And they had to do all the voter suppression tactics.
Yeah.
All of this stuff. Anyways, Cindy McCain.
Oh, God.
Did you see this?
I did see this. She got an IM via Facebook yesterday.
Yeah. So,
after this.
Yeah. So Trump goes out and starts saying all these things, these hateful things. And Cindy McCain, she posted, she said, I want to make sure, she posted a screenshot. She said, I want to make sure all of you could see how kind and loving a stranger can be. I'm posting your note here for her family and friends to see. And the message, the senator said that she was glad that the late Arizona Republican is dead, and then called him a traitor, piece of warmongering. And the message also attacked her daughter, Meghan McCain, criticizing her appearance, and says she hopes that she chokes.